Well, I'll admit Harvard University President Dr. Claudine Gay lasted longer than I expected. I thought that after saying student calls for the genocide of Jews might be okay, depending on the context, I thought she would have been forced to quit within the hour. But finally, it's caught up with her. 29 days after those remarks, and amid allegations she plagiarised the work of other researchers on several occasions, Dr. Gay has resigned. As one person I spoke to said, Harvard could either have someone who wouldn't call out anti-Semitism, or it could have a plagiariser, but it couldn't have both. Joining me now is the Australian's media writer, Sophie Ellsworth. Sophie, thanks for joining me. Let's just remind ourselves of what Dr. Claudine Gay said at that congressional hearing last month.
Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment, yes or no?
It can be, depending on the context.
I will ask you one more time. Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment, yes or no?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric.
And is it anti-Semitic rhetoric?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric, when it crosses into conduct that amounts to bullying, harassment, intimidation, that is actionable conduct, and we do take action.
So the answer is yes, that calling for the genocide of Jews violates Harvard Code of Conduct, correct?
Again, it depends on the context.
Sophie, I'm shocked it's taken her so long to go after that, but really it's the plagiarism allegations that have been the final straw, hasn't it?
Well, James, great to be here. Yes, it's really a combination of both here. Really, those answers there were unbelievable. She should take up politics because that's pretty much what politicians master, not answering questions. And we saw that repeatedly there. People can see straight through that. But yes, there are, I was reading today, around 50 allegations of plagiarism. That is such a serious offence in her role as the president of Harvard. So she's gone. She had a tenure of just 6 months, the shortest ever at Harvard. And her career has taken a massive fall, and rightly so. But once you have plagiarism attached to your name, that's a very, very serious offence. And going through her work, I was looking at some of the pieces today. There were, side by side of where there were claims they were plagiarised from. You've got to credit that work where it's coming from. And it appears in many cases she was not doing that, James.
Sophie, you report on the media. I want to get your thoughts on how this CNN journalist reported on the plagiarism scandal. Have a listen to this.
These plagiarism allegations, where Claudine Gay has had to issue corrections, multiple corrections. Now, we should note that Claudine Gay has not been accused of stealing anyone's ideas in any of her writings. She's been accused of sort of more like copying other people's writings without attribution. So it's been more sloppy attribution than stealing anyone's ideas. But nonetheless, you put all of that together.
It wasn't stealing, it was just sloppy attribution, or as CNN would say, it was a mostly peaceful plagiarism.
Oh, please, that was absolutely atrocious. What's that journalist thinking? I mean, he's in the media. Plagiarism is a serious offence, and he should be calling it out, not sort of what appears to be excusing it, James. So I thought that was a shocking take, pretty embarrassing for that journalist.
Absolutely. Listen, the value of social media platform formerly known as Twitter, I'll always call it Twitter, but formerly known as Twitter, now X, the value has dropped 71% since it was bought by Elon Musk and renamed X. Twitter was valued at $44 billion in October 2022. It's now valued at $12 billion. This comes after a 15% drop in users, many of whom complained about hate speech, and companies pulling their ads after Musk was accused of anti-Semitism. Sophie, do you think X will be able to recover its value?
Well, James, there's not a lot of detail about why it has dropped its value so significantly. So I'll take this information with a big fat grain of salt. But yes, there are problems with X. There's no denying it. It's a pretty horrid platform. People get trolled on there. The verification's been upended. I mean, I'm getting some bizarre ads on my Twitter feed. I won't repeat here at night time of what's popping up in my feed. And I think it's got a lot of problems. And Elon Musk, I mean, James, he's so wealthy. He said to advertisers, big businesses the other day, if they don't like it, basically, you know, a few coarse words he used and, you know, tell your story walking. So it's got a long way to pick itself up, but it's a pretty grubby platform, like many social media platforms, if I'm honest.
Well, Elon Musk is worth over $250 billion, and he actually said he bought Twitter as a service to humanity. So maybe he doesn't care if the value drops. Sophie Ellsworth, appreciate your time tonight.